something that's been going on with Stephen A. Smith and Lonzo Ball, and then also a story that's going on with Tua, the quarterback of the Dolphins. I just find these stories to be similar, but just kind of in a different ways, and showing how you could take different approaches or maybe what the quote unquote right thing to do. So I believe it was this week on his show, Stephen A. Smith made a comment about Lonzo Ball, about the fact that Lonzo Ball was not able to get up from a seat. After, if you're not familiar, Lonzo Ball, he's an NBA player. He's been having quite a bit of injuries that have had him miss, I believe, the past 2 seasons. So there's been a lot of speculation about, is he okay? Is he ever going to hoop again? Like, what's the real problem? So I believe that that's the conversation that Stephen A. was talking about, just giving more updates on that, whereas his condition, or he's not that close to getting back on the court because he can barely get up from a seat. Shortly after, this became like a trendy story of, Stephen A.'s comments, because Stephen A., he's pretty credible. So if he says something to be true, I don't know when to give it a number here, but it's a very high likelihood that it's probably true. So people took what he was saying about Lonzo to be almost facts. So after this was all on the internet and trending, Lonzo Ball put out a video that was showing him getting up from a chair. Pretty much like slamming down anything that Stephen A. said about him not being able to get up, because in the video, Lonzo got up, and I will say that he got up with ease. Like, he didn't really have a problem. After that video, Stephen A. went on not only, I believe, First Take, but also on Stephen A.'s own podcast or show, and he talked more about this, basically saying that if I said this, it's because someone close to me told me this information. Like, I can name your doctor. People in the comments was like, so somebody on Lonzo's team violated HIPAA is what you're basically saying. Because that's pretty much what you're saying. If you're saying that someone told you this information, so it's either a family friend or like someone on his medical team. And if it's someone on his medical team, that's a violation of HIPAA, would it not be? I brought this up because this was a clear opportunity that Stephen A. Smith could have used to just apologize, been like, no foul, no harm, no foul. You're right, wrong information. Even though it might not look good for you, credibility wise, you look even worse now when you're basically trying to double down on what we clearly is seen proven to be untrue. Another similar but different incident where Ryan Clark, a commentator, was speaking about the quarterback of the Dolphins. He wasn't really speaking on him in the most positive way. Once Tua went to these comments, it was at I don't know if it was a practice or a preseason game. He was asked about these comments from Ryan Clark, and in my words, not his words, he was pretty much like, I'm not with that. Like, Ryan Clark, he could get all the smoke. I try to be very, very calm, very composed, but I don't really get down with people playing with me, is what he said in my words. You can go look up what he said verbatim yourself. So this was trending because it was whoa, Tua's really getting at Ryan Clark. After this became a trendy viral story, Ryan Clark posted this long caption in this video where he was speaking just about what he said, and he was apologizing. See, that's why I brought these two things up. Two situations where two gentlemen made comments that were not really that pleasing. Stephen A. decided, I'm going to double down and really make the situation worse. Whereas on the other hand, Ryan Clark apologized. Whether Ryan Clark felt like what he said was right or wrong, he realized that the person he was talking about, Tua, took it offensively, so he decided, I'm just going to apologize. Stephen A., even though is pretty much sure that Lonzo took these comments offensively, Stephen A, no apology. He gonna double down. Like, clearly, if I said this, like, somebody told me this. Like, now you're about to violate your source. It's like what you're really about to do.